welcome to Closet Conversations. Today I want to talk to you about the Goodwill Bins. That's right, the bins, the infamous get down and dirty and find cool stuff and buy by the pound bins. And I'm here to talk about my new opinion of the bins. I've been going there now for a solid year, and my initial opinion of the bins has changed, and it's evolved over time now that I've had an opportunity to go a number of times. I certainly don't go every week by any means, but I've gone many, many times over the last 12 months, and now I have a much different opinion about it. And basically, I feel like if you have an opportunity to go to the bins, you should go. And I feel like it's possible to find anything at the bins. It is truly a treasure hunt, and I think it's because I've gone enough now to get a sense and get a handle on what's there, what you can find, kind of how it works, how to have strategy inside the bins. But when I sold this faded but really fantastic black cotton shirt for $100 at Christmas, then I knew I wanted to talk about it. I found in the bins a shirt from SpaceX, and it had SpaceX on one pocket and Cape Canaveral on the other pocket, on like Velcro, the hook and eye that could come off. It had dragon on one shoulder and something else on the other. And so it was an employee, size small, mind you, it was tiny, size small, I guess, employee shirt. And inside it said eBay and on Poshmark, and I got an offer on eBay for $100, and I had free shipping on it, but they said, it's for Christmas, it's for a gift, can I pay for priority? So they ended up paying for shipping in the end, and I was just thrilled, and I probably paid 50 cents for it, and that was at the bins. And the thing about the bins is that it's just this tossed salad of everything jumped in together, and everything from SpaceX. I have found Rolling Stone t-shirts in there. I have found leather handbags I've sold for hundreds of dollars. I have found leather shoes and boots and amazing clothing, and I've made so much money off this stuff I've bought. Like, when you pay $1 for something, or 50 cents or a quarter or a dime or whatever, and you sell it for hundreds of dollars, and I certainly don't do that every time, but I've done it enough times to when it really gets your attention. I mean, the margins there are amazing if you can find the things. And it takes a while to figure out what's in there, how often good stuff is in there, what to look for, what other people are going for. You've got the people who specialize in denim and in Levi's. You've got the people who specialize in the Nike and the tennis shoes. You've got book specialists and CD specialists and women who only want the vintage clothing, and everyone has their niche. And so it's important to go enough to figure out what's there, what's hard to find, what isn't hard to find, and to really edit yourself. Because I think because I have spent so little for everything, I haven't lost money at all by any means, but I have bought things that I shouldn't have, and that's simply just not understanding just not understanding, that I don't need this thing that I bought maybe to use in my apartment or something like that. I've bought tablecloths, I've bought rugs, and I don't know why I did that, but I have them. But I have different things that I've bought that I certainly didn't need, and I because they were so inexpensive, and I thought perhaps I could use them. So what I'm really realizing now is that as I go to the bins now, it's really about editing and not buying. Like, my new thing is not to go in what can I find to buy, is I think it's going to be, how do I go in there and not buy anything? How do I not buy at the bins? How do I be so selective about what I have that I'm not going to just bring home pounds and pounds of things that I can't use? Because that really, the whole point of the bins is that, someone else could use it and put it to good use. And, I don't need to be taking home things I'm not going to actually use, because then I'm going to end up redonating it. And it's going to go back into the bin for someone to get. So yeah, it's a cycle. But I think it's important to decide what you're looking for, to understand what you can find there. and be very, very specific, because it is a big tossed salad, and that's what makes it fascinating. I mean, I've found money in the bottom. I found a real gold bracelet that was a child's bracelet. I sold it for scrap, um, and I didn't try to sell it as a bracelet, because I mean the people aren't generally wearing those things anymore, and at least not that I know of. There's probably some wonderful children around the world that have gold bracelets on, and I don't know about it. But I sold that for scrap. I mean, that's amazing. A gold bracelet, money. You always find money in the bottom of these bins, and you know, as well as rats and cockroaches and every other thing. But it's fascinating, and so what I've learned is that it's really, really important to get focused. And so when I go, I am definitely not picking up things I used to pick up. So I used to pick up a lot of shorts and denim and things like that. And I realize now there's a glut. And so what I don't need is another pair of shorts. Matter of fact, I'm going to quit selling shorts. I think I mentioned that in another podcast, because they're not big money makers and I don't need them. And there's so many at the Benz that there's just no point. I will continue to pick up overalls or shorts overalls, because those tend to sell and you can get a decent amount of money for them. But regular shorts, I'm done with that. Jeans, I don't care anything about jeans. I'm trying to get rid of the jeans that I have and focus on other things. And even though there's an abundance of denim at the Benz, I don't want to be the person picking up. So unless it's Gucci or unless it's really something awesome, I'm going to walk on by the jeans. There's a ton of H&M, a ton of Forever 21, a ton of Express. And just in terms of brands, you know, that is not anything I want to pick up anymore at the Benz, unless it's just some extraordinary piece. So I don't need any of those brands anymore. I'm trying to move away from it, although I'm not opposed to it. I'm just want to elevate everything that I'm doing. So, okay, so it's H&M, but maybe it's new with tags, or maybe it's a piece of the collaboration, or maybe it's a super interesting piece and not just a basic, because there's no money in that. So, yeah, it's all about deciding what you're going to buy. And I'm always taking too many things out of the Bins. My worst offense is buying hoodies, and I think it's because I buy them for myself. I don't really buy them to resell, though I have resold some. And because I'm very cold natured, so I'm always in a different hoodie around the house. And one time by accident, I didn't even know it, but I got this hoodie when I got home. It was from the Great China Wall or Great Wall of China brand. And I about passed out because I didn't even notice. If you don't know anything about that brand, their heyday was in the late 90s, and they're known for like hoodies and sweatshirts and things that are hand painted and bedazzled and have leather appliques and things like that. So I got really lucky. I wasn't really looking for it, but I gotta quit buying so many sweatpants and hoodies because they're heavy and I don't need them. And recently I was purging a bunch of this sweat stuff that I bought. But what's so funny is that now that I know the Benz is there, and if you need sweatshirts or sweatpants, you should go there. I had bought a pair of sweatpants at the Gap and ended up taking them back because I couldn't justify it. It didn't feel right to spend whatever it was, I don't know, like $28, something like that, or $30 when I can pick them up for $1 at the Benz. So I took them back. Can you believe it? And this is why they're closing the stores. I took back my sweatpants. So yes, I find it at the Benz. I buy it at the Benz, usually for me, not to resell. But I gotta quit doing that because there is so much of it there. So that's me editing what I'm buying when I go. I have found just incredible vintage pieces that I have sold, and I find that when I buy kimonos, not just any kimono, but like the true vintage kimonos that are long and very striking, I've been able to sell those really well at the flea market and for hundreds of dollars. I sold a couple of them to a woman going to Burning Man last year, and they were both things that I found at the Benz. And so I'm realizing that to hone in on certain things I know I can sell. So I know the Asian dresses, those Chinese fitted dresses, the kimonos, the long ones, the real ones, they always sell. They always sell for me no matter what. Doc Martens, I've gotten those at the bins. They always sell no matter what. John Fluvog, I found those at the bins. Always sell. Leather handbags that are of like niche, really high-end brands that someone has missed because they don't know what it is. I have sold those for hundreds of dollars. Some key vintage pieces. In terms of brands, I have found, that's so much fun when you find like Roland Mouret, for example, who dresses all the celebrities. So basically, in summary, you can find anything at the bins. And if you're willing to go a lot, you're going to find a lot of things at the bins. Awesome things, cool things that you may not any more need to buy, but just because they're there and they're awesome and they're special, you'll find things. And I now have a very high opinion of the bins. They raised the price on it to over $2 a pound now, but I don't care because no matter what, I always have enough to buy at the bins. And I love the fact that I can hunt and not worry about the price. And that is such a great feeling to just go by style and uniqueness and like, what can I find in here and not have to worry, oh, is it $10? Is it $15? What's the price? And that's a wonderful freeing feeling to be able to go through and just look and look and look. It's exhausting, but it's thrilling, at the same time. And I love it. So my new opinion of the bins is don't be afraid of the bins. We're helping the Goodwill by buying at the bins and helping them with this cycle of fashion that's out there. This is all part of, people that what they do, their system to raise money is to push it through the stores, process it, push it out to the bins, sell it, and keep that movement going of all these goods. And I think if we can do our part as resellers to buy from the bins, we'll encourage them to keep doing it for sure. But it helps with the sustainability issue in this world. And I think as resellers, we are just starting to really talk about how what we're doing is really helpful to the planet and us creating this secondary market and just being a force with them. So that's it today. I just want to recommend everyone go to their local bins if you don't have one in your town. If you're traveling, you can see if there's one there. I've been to the one in Austin, Texas. I've been to the one here in LA. I went to one in Phoenix, Arizona. They're all very different. By far, the one in LA was my favorite. But I found cool things at the one in Phoenix. Really interesting vintage, super rare blanket. I hadn't even put it for sale because I haven't. It's just sitting in the corner. Some really cool things I found at the one in Phoenix. The one in Austin I hit it at a terrible time. There was just nothing. That was a complete waste of time. But the ones in LA, I've been just to the one on San Fernando and Road, and it's been fantastic. I know there's another one. There's others in town I haven't been. But I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful way to source. The profit margins are ridiculously good. And it's the only reason I don't go there more is because it's not close to me and I'm busy and I'm working in my consignment shop. And when I do go, someone always takes me, if I go with some friends of mine and we make it an outing. And if it were any closer, I think I'd be in trouble because people would be like, where's Jennie? And they're like, she's at the bins. She got lost in there. And it's wonderful. So all that said, definitely go to your local bins. I have found so many cool things, from a SpaceX t-shirt to vintage kimonos that got sold for hundreds of dollars to wonderful leather handbags and shoes, Doc Martens, you name it, gold jewelry, money. You can find it there at the bins. And so I think you should check it out for yourself. And if you do go more than once. You've got to go. You got to get a rhythm. You've got to figure out how it goes in there. And the last thing I want to say is I actually have developed a bins kit. So my JennieGirl brand, which is now branching out into supporting the reselling community, has now created a bins kit. And what it consists of is a black, it looks like it's the equivalent of an IKEA bag, but it's a black one, black IKEA bag. It's a pair of black leather gloves. It's a black, like, the masks that you can wear, like surgical mask, it looks like, around your face. It's a water bottle and a water bottle holder. So all those things comprise the Bins kit. It's everything you would possibly need to shop there. If you're interested, please be in touch with me on Instagram at JennieGirl's Closet. You can also be in touch with me on my website. I finally added the email, where you can sign up for the newsletter on my website, JennieGirl's Closet. I have not tweaked it too much. The Bins kit's not up there or anything, but I'm going to add a section on the email to where you can sign up and leave me a note and tell me if you're interested in that or not, and I can get back to you on that. And it'd be so cool. We can all have our Bins kit at the Bins. And that's it. This is Jennie Walker doing her best to podcast every night. I was racking my brain, what am I going to talk about? So this is me racking my brain talking about the Bins, because I'm trying to come up with a topic every night for a month for the podcast, and see how that does to help push us up in the rankings. And it's working. We got even higher in iTunes. I think we got as high as 38, something like that. Might have been in the 20s. I'm going to have to check on that. Actually, I just checked. So we've been as high as number 23 on Apple iTunes in the category of arts and fashion. That's not bad. And the way to keep going up in the rankings is, one, I have to keep doing this. I have to do podcasting every day. But also, I need more listeners and more subscribers. And if you haven't listened to the rest of the episodes, if you do that, that'll help as well. If you know anybody who likes reselling content, who might be interested in this podcast, please feel free to share the link. As I said in a different podcast, my goal is to help build the reselling community, and one of the ways I want to do that is through this podcast. So anything you can share will help. Giving 5-star reviews, giving comments, liking it, sharing it, subscribing, all of that helps push this out into the universe so that people can find it. And that's it. This is Jennie Walker with Closet Conversations. Thank you for being with me. If you liked the song you heard, it's called Black Hat, performed by Jennie Walker and written by Jennie Walker and Tommy Farragher. It's available on iTunes worldwide now.
It was a black hat. It was a man's cap, worn backwards on his head. He was a cool cat. He'd been to hell and back. He had a look that stopped me dead. He had something that I needed. It took my strength to show my weakness. hat. It was a